In Kotka, the closeness of the sea, the archipelago, the Kymi River and varied topography provide a superb setting for environmental planning and building. The densely built-up area of Kotkansari has relatively many green areas, first of which were designed back in the 19th century. Parks and green areas have been consciously designed for over 20 years in Kotka on the lines that an industrial, harbour and logistics town needn't look like an industrial area. Kotkansari has a unique network of trails leading from park to park. By taking green pathways, more than 10 very different parks can be reached, many of which have nationwide significance. The park environment has a positive impact on the townspeople's health and well-being. A pleasant environment enhances the region's image and attracts tourists. Indeed, the parks of Kotka have become one of the town's most important tourist attractions, with by far the largest visitor numbers. The parks of Kotka differ greatly from one another, and each park has its distinctive features. In some of them, this could be a diverse labelled vegetation. In others, herbs and spices, sculptures, and the use of domestic rock, water, lighting, views across the horizon, or the sheer dignity of a geometrically laid out vista. Many parks combine several of these features. Welcome to Kotka, a city of parks. Situated at the beginning of the Linden Alley of Keskuskatu Street, Sibelius Park is like a green living room in the middle of the town. Here it's possible to sense the refined atmosphere of a geometrically laid out location. Groups of aspens and other features are pleasant to look at, both in daylight and in the evening. The park's lawn is particularly well cared for. The Kotkat, or eagle sculpture, by Jussi Mentunen has been an eye-catcher in the middle of the park since 1955. Sibelius Park has been completely restored, reflecting the park's history and development. The 1930s plans by the landscape architect Paul Olsen were used as the basis of the restoration. Modern needs and requirements arising from the park's central location were taken into account, regarding, for example, long-lasting durability. Before the restoration, it took nearly a year for Sibelius Park to recover from the stresses and strains caused by the Kotka Maritime Festival that took place here. In fact, the remnants of the event were hardly noticeable even a few weeks afterwards. At the time of restoration, a section of the main street of Ruotsinsalmi fortress town, dating back to the end of the 18th century, was found on the Kirkkokatu Street side of the park. Situated in the middle of Kotkansari, Isopuisto is the largest park on the island, with an area of about 8 hectares. The park was established around the Orthodox Church of St. Nicholas, which dates from 1801. The church is the most visible and almost the only intact building remaining from the time of Ruotsinsalmi fortress town. Isopuisto was formerly known as Constantine's Park. During the wars, it was also used as a lumber yard and cultivation plot for the townspeople. Extensive restoration work was carried out in the park in the 1960s. Located in natural woodland, it's possible to sense in Isopuisto the peace of nature in the very centre of the town. The most prominent features of this English-style landscape park are varied terrain, wide lawns, and old coniferous and deciduous trees, as well as cliffs typical of Kotka. An impressive plantation area of over 1,000 square metres lies along Ruotsinsalmenkatu Street in front of the Orthodox Church. In addition to over 50 species of hosta, there are also azaleas and climbing plants. Thousands of flowers are in bloom here from early spring until late autumn. Built back in the 1890s, Redoubt Kotka formed a part of the Ruotsin-Salmi fortress town area. A strong feeling of the past is present in the herb garden, established in a small, restored, fortified structure. Spices and medicinal herbs were the first garden plants used in the gardens of Finnish convents, castles and manors. Several perennial herbs and other crops enhance the attractive decorative aspect of the place. It's possible to identify around 100 different herbs and spices in this herb garden. It was designed with the needs of visually impaired people in mind. In addition to Finnish, Swedish, and Latin identifying labels, each herb has tags in Braille. In several other parks in Kotka, decorative plants have also been fitted with name tags. The scents of the herbs in the Redoubt herb garden attract butterflies and other flying insects. The varying shapes, charming colours and enticing aromas of the herbs provide enjoyment for all the senses. Sapukka Water Garden is an oasis near the centre. In this park, water, rock, vegetation and light combine to form a unique whole. In the 1990s, an ancient bay area which was partly overgrown was made into a park, enjoyed by all age groups. Its 5 or so hectares include very diverse aspects of nature. The dry and sunnier southern bank is more built up than the shady seaward side of the park. The numerous labelled plants bloom right through the season. In addition to natural vegetation, over 300 other species of plants, 20,000 or so decorative varieties, and tens of thousands of bulbs have also been planted here. In autumn, the russet shades and constantly changing colours delight the eye. In winter, the park takes on a sparkling cloak of frost and snow. The park is also a test bed for a variety of different plants. The results of this experience are used in other parks. The most prominent element of the park, water, is evident in many ways. Sometimes a calm, placid, reflecting surface, or babbling brooks, small ponds, and an impressive waterfall. In addition to its aesthetic aspect, the waterfall provides the entire bay's water circulation and oxidation system. Seawater is brought in on a 21-metre-high rock, half a kilometre away from the outside of the outermost breakwater in Sapukka Marina. 3 different species of carp have been introduced to Sapukka Bay, which in turn help the bay stay ecologically clean. Nowadays, the largest carp weighs more than 10 kilos, but they're not the only giants in the bay. Large pike, again around 10 kilos in weight, have also been caught here during trial fishing. In summer, rippling water isn't the only sound to be heard in Sapukka Water Garden. Located in Sapukka Bay, Laulussaari, Song Island, and its concert stage is the venue for a range of open-air performances. The use of stone blocks in several sizes has an educational impact on the environment, as well as providing versatility and durability. Machined or natural stone has been employed in many ways. The majority of the park's structures are either remnants from the quarrying industry or are built of reused natural stone, such as the foundation plinths of demolished buildings. On top of the waterfall, stone eagles guard their surroundings. Over 30 of these bird statues made from local stone are displayed in the rock garden, showing how stone can be machined into interesting shapes, as well as showing off the varied beauty of Finnish stone. As darkness falls in Sapukka, over 100 special lanterns transform it into an entirely different park. A fairy tale forest where light and shade evoke a special atmosphere. It's quite an experience seeing the illuminated park on a blue summer night, or in winter when the vegetation is covered by snow. Sappoka Water Garden is the most prize-winning park in Finland. Panels of experts in environmental construction and lighting have judged the park to be the country's best lighting and stonemasonry display. The Environmental Structure of the Year. Palotorninvuori Park has been named after a fire tower which burned down in 1911. Palotorninvuori Park is situated on cliffs, and only the Ruotsin-Salmen-Katu Street side has been converted into a park. Low aspens have been planted. The upper level of Palotorninvuori Park has spectacular views of the original legendary port of Kotka. The port activities of today's harbour have moved elsewhere. But on Palotorninvuori, the old port is still guarded by a monument erected in honour of stevedoring. The old harbour is slowly turning into a cultural harbour. The first elements of this, the Vellamo Centre of the Finnish Maritime Museum and the Finnish Wooden Boat Centre, are already in place. The Linden Esplanade, stretching about 800 metres between Keskuskatu and Mariankatu streets, is effectively the lungs of Kotka city centre. The Linden Esplanade was completely restored at the turn of the century, after which it was chosen as the Environmental Structure of the Year. The restoration design included the option of establishing a sculpture promenade on the Linden Esplanade and in its nearby parks, Sibelius Park and Toivo Pekkanen Park. The first two sculptures were unveiled in 2001, and between 1 and 3 new sculptures have been unveiled every year since then. The main idea behind the sculpture promenade is to have a distinctive and versatile collection of sculptures right in the centre of town. An open-air gallery of sorts, where art is brought directly into people's everyday lives. After the completion of the Maritime Centre Vellamo in 2008, it was decided to continue the sculpture promenade right up as far as the future cultural harbour. Now this artistic area is over 2 kilometres long. Sappoka Water Garden already has over 10 bronze, bird and animal sculptures created by sculptor Hannele Kyllenpää. If, after the addition of further figures, Sappoka also becomes a part of the sculpture promenade, then the planned art route will extend to about 4 kilometres, with around 40 sculptures evenly spaced along the way. This is unique in Finland, and possibly in the world. Fuuksinpuisto Park, located alongside Puistottie Road, provides a good opportunity to see the many plant species and varieties that are suitable for the domestic garden. The range of species includes both sun and shade-loving plants. The flower beds that have name tags include perennials such as irises, geraniums, daylilies, peonies, hostas, and leopard plants. There are also plenty of perennial climbing plants, such as Dutchman's pipe, staff vines, hydrangeas, creepers, Asian actinidias, and a particularly wide variety of buttercups. Several shrubs, fruit trees and berry bushes have also been planted in the park. The jewel in the crown, though, is the most magnificent collection of rhododendrons in Finland, part of the rhododendron research studies undertaken by the University of Helsinki. Several new species of rhododendron, including those that are suitable for harsh conditions, are about to come onto the market. Seeing the rhododendrons blooming exuberantly and exotically, it's not hard to predict that rhododendrons will perhaps be the next big hit in Nordic gardens. The southernmost tip of Kotkansaari was a fenced and closed area for the townspeople because of an oil terminal situated there. At the turn of the century, the oil company's rental agreements came to an end. The tanks were relocated or disassembled, and extensive ground clearing works were begun. To the delight of both locals and tourists, the building of Katarina Seaside Park started on the Cape. The unique advantage of Katarina Seaside Park is the surrounding sea and archipelago. The southern part has spectacular views of the horizon, with Googland looming in the middle of the Gulf of Finland. This park design is based on restoring the Cape to its most natural form and excavating several spectacular sheer cliffs. Seawater is pumped from an artificial pond to a brook. The base of the brook is the only most efficient green section of this approximately 20-hectare park. Both the Cape and the district of Katarina are named after Catherine the Great of Russia. The highest point of Katarina Seaside Park is the largest fortified structure in Kotkansaari, Fort Katarina. The National Board of Antiquities of Finland has recently restored it. Fort Katarina was built in the 1790s as part of the fortified town of Ruots in Salemi. Katarina Seaside Park has become a real people's park. Activities range from rock concerts to the scattering of ashes. The Anchorage Islet on the tip of the Cape is an official ash scattering area. Many funeral groups have already taken advantage of this facility. The park also offers exceptional opportunities for recreational activities. In addition to jogging, soccer players have a wide lawn at their disposal, or people enjoy kite flying. In addition to a beach volleyball court, the park also has a few frisbee areas and a skate park. Sports equipment has been chosen to provide something for people of all ages. Katarina Seaside Park is also an excellent picnic location. There are groups of tables equipped with barbecue facilities, and there's space at the largest stone table for more than 40 hungry diners. One speciality of the park is a maze designed on traditional lines. A 1-kilometre walk to and from the centre provides plenty of time for contemplation and meditation. Karhula's former refuse dump was used for tipping for nearly 30 years, and in the 1930s a landfill design featured 3 hillocks, from where the highest of these gives a good view of the sea. The area named as Kumparapuisto Park is the most popular winter sledging area in town. The hillocks attract visitors from far and wide, often bringing their entire family. Other activities in Kumparapuisto Park include a bird watching and lookout tower, a playground, a dog walking park, barbecue facilities, and most recently a frisbee golf track, which is challenging because of the different elevations. Next to Kumparapuisto Park is a small swamp where hundreds of rhododendrons have been planted, part of the Rhododendron Improvement Project of the University of Helsinki. The forest parks and cliffs are characterized by a network of nature trails. These provide a good opportunity for recreation and jogging. When following a nature trail, you observe the diversity of the changing landscape. the vegetation, and the fauna of harsh rocks, forests, beaches and swamps. Viewing areas offer opportunities for admiring the archipelago and the life of birds. Mother Nature continuously provides something enjoyable in every season. In Kotka, efforts striving towards a better town environment continue. The newest notable target is the development of the riversides of Karhula and Jumalniemi. This river park will consist of about 3 kilometers of versatile riverside. Most of the park will be natural riverside trails, but it will also include a very well-built special park with lily ponds, brooks, sculptures and impressive plants. So there we have it, Kotka, a very special city of parks.